All right. We are live with Big E TV. Hey, 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 Big E. Hey, hey, hey. In the house. Big E TV, and life is beautiful. All right.
Tonight, more expensive than ever as the price of gas ticks up across the country.
Actually have some accountability for our media to see how they work during election times and how they're able to socially engineer results and public opinion and get the results that are going to favor large corporations, billionaire donors. It's easy to see when you break it down, like I'm going to do for you tonight. We have gas prices hitting a record high in BC, $1.79 a liter.
That's insane.
How is this still happening?
First of all, the National, they hit us with panic and worry as gas prices are going to be the highest they've ever been before.
If you drive, you know it's been getting more expensive lately. It is in Vancouver that prices have shattered a record for North American cities.
In Vancouver, Greater Vancouver, Lower Mainland, and they're going to be the highest gas prices in the history of any North American city.
Metro Vancouver is setting records, and it's frustrating for drivers.
I think we're getting taxed, out of existence.
Typically the old, show this woman saying about how she doesn't want more taxes, and then have, of course, any of these right-wing parties saying, oh, NDP, they're going to raise your taxes, raise your taxes, raise your taxes.
My taxes have gone up. Our debt is out of control.
Because this is how it works, folks. This is how you get people brainwashed into these boxes of thinking, oh, okay, less taxes, I better vote for the poor corporation. Basically just more bullshit, folks, that they're using to scare us, these scare tactics. And it's so strange. Ever since British Columbia has put a stop to the Kinder Morgan pipeline expansion, our gas has been getting more and more and more expensive. I wonder why that is. How friggin' stupid do you think people are? Well, don't answer that question. Anyway. Of course, there's an election coming up here, and oh my goodness, the CBC propaganda machine, it is in full force, folks.
Albertans, get ready to choose their future.
I firmly believe we need to get that oil moving.
I'm worried as to how we're going to get investors back.
Fox News North, on the National last night. Here's how it works, okay? I'll break it down.
Drivers shelled out almost $1.70 a liter in downtown Vancouver this weekend.
Whoa! So right off the bat, election coming up, let's get people in high alert, worry, anxiety mode. Okay, step one. Step two, oh geez, Andrew Chang reports, and
it could get worse.
Ooh. Next, you think you're on to the Alberta election, but hang on, folks, we're not there yet. Although they kind of conveniently then tack over to...
Now, we wanted to know why it's climbed so much, so we asked Briar Stewart to look into it, and as you'll hear, there's a chance prices could go even higher.
Some dumbass excuse like Washington State's planned refinery maintenance issues.
BC imports its fuel, so part of the price surge boils down to supply.
Planned refinery maintenance issues.
Did you get that part? The planned part? It's all planned, folks. It's not a surprise. It's not a coincidence that there's an Alberta election coming on tomorrow. My goodness.
And of course, an oversubscribed Trans Mountain pipeline.
He was talking about, quote, an oversubscribed Kinder Morgan pipeline.
A gas price analyst says those U.S. refineries and the Trans Mountain pipeline bring in upwards of 70% of the fuel for the Vancouver market.
Anxiety wrapped up in oil and gas, and then we shift to this, and Jason Kenney, look at this guy. He's a really, looks like he's a guy that can actually make a difference to all this crisis and that we're facing.
And it could get worse.
Lowers the bar, I would say, on journalistic integrity here. I'm sure that some of these people on the CBC, they're not proud of what they do. Puff piece on, guess who? Jason Kenney.
They were paying $1.70 almost on gas in Vancouver this week. I'll tell you, that's just an appetizer.
Wait, huh? What? Weren't you just giving a puff piece to their leader for the last 5 minutes?
On the campaign trail, Jason Kenney, the leader of Alberta's United Conservative Party, has warned of consequences if BC doesn't get on board with the Trans Mountain expansion.
And then they go on to Calgary and Rosemary Barton, the true power in politics. Okay, now we're going to talk about the Alberta election.
So, Rosie, needless to say, lots of folks in BC watching the Alberta election very closely, as are you.
Candidates are really wrestling for control of the story before voters have the final say.
Who do they start with? Not Rachel Notley. No, not because she's been a friggin' awesome premier to the province. No, let's go back for more.
If you want to continue to benefit from our hard work and our resources, you have to let us develop those resources.
Jason Kenney
wants the focus to be on Alberta's economic pain, made worse, he says, by anti-Alberta forces outside the province, aided and abetted by Rachel Notley's NDP.
The NDP in this province was always against our energy industry.
Wait, what? Huh? What is the CBC doing to us? Come on, CBC. Lots of worry, lots of conspiracy, a lot of hype and half-truths pushed by parties and outside groups.
When it becomes slandering on other parties coming from what they say is a credible source.
These young voters say they're pretty savvy when it comes to separating fact from fiction on social media, but they can still be surprised by claims in this campaign.
Why do we have a man like Jason Kenney telling us women what our healthcare needs are?
Take this video advertising a website paid for by the NDP.
Really? That's quite unfortunate because even if I don't like Jason Kenney, the way that they're portraying this, and how sensationalized and look at the red and the black.
Third-party political action committees are also slagging political opponents, playing fast and loose with facts.
The very fast evolution of social media.
The NDP insists it does not engage in fake news.
We want to have a fact-based conversation in this election. We don't want this to turn into Trump 2.0.
But the party released a video it calls a documentary attacking the United Conservative Party's Jason Kenney for comments decades ago about his role as a student activist fighting gay rights. The video didn't mention he stated regretting those views years later.
Political messaging is one thing, but what are the people here actually looking for?
What does it mean to be conservative?
All we want is for people to leave us the hell alone. Let us do our own thing out here.
You think that's the way most Canadians feel?
I think it is.
Through these lenses and my lens, yes, absolutely. For where I've traveled, I see many people who want to have less government involvement, less taxation.
My children, I'm wondering about their future in the oil patch, so that's at stake for me in this election.
I firmly believe we need to get that oil moving. We need the pipelines done.
I'm worried. I'm worried as to how we're going to get investors back or how we're going to diversify.
The oil and gas industries in Alberta are finished. If we have another government like the last one we've had for 4 years.
But I'm going to try to have a conversation that's a little bit bigger than ourselves. Meanwhile, we keep talking about doing something about global warming, looking to make a better world for you and for me. And I love making new friends, making new Facebook friends.